if you guys want to introduce yourselves and decide if you know each other. You don't have to, and once you guys have got that wrapped up, I'll tell you what's going on. Tink, why don't you go first, Mr. Turtle?
I believe I already have, but no one fucking responded.
Well, you never gave anybody your name. That's usually a good place to start.
Turtle, the Galapagos the Turtle. That's me.
Oh,
I'm a cleric, a life cleric. But I started out. I have an interest in bookkeeping. Mild-mannered and not. It never predisposed to violence. However, circumstances have sort of led me to an adventurous lifestyle, which I wasn't. Which is a big surprise to me. But at times I actually enjoy it. So, as far as how I may know anyone, I'll leave that to perhaps if there might be some sort of connection we might find based on somebody else's background. But other than that, perhaps we just all bump into each other having some lettuce.
As a life cleric, where did you grow up, Tink? Turtles are normally from the swamp area near Watika, but not inside of it. Watika's got kind of to give you a little background on Watika, it has kind of a Mesoamerican sort of Inca Maya kind of flavor. Your ancestral lands would be near there, but not like you're adjacent, but not exactly a part of Watika. If Watika is, let's say Brazil, you're like Uruguay.
I'm a gay.
Also, that
so
that's unrelated, but yes.
Okay, so
if you worked in a temple as an adventurer, it's definitely not out of the question that you might have glued some of these dudes back together before. You might be familiar with them from having healed them. If you live in Dragonmyrth City, which is up to you, you like
yes.
By the way, that's one question I do have. What's your god, by the way?
Oh, Chandria.
Okay.
Chandria.
I think Tink and I probably know each other through some sort of administrative bureaucratic function, since you're like a bookkeeper and I work in the bureaucracy for Dragonmyrth.
That's what I was thinking. There might be a sort of connection there somewhere. We may have had some dealings in that you've injuncted me to hand over some files over some court case somewhere. But
entirely possible. It was probably like a dispute over incense delivery for a contract. Be like, we were supposed to receive 50 bundles of incense, and 7 of these are clearly damaged. And then Biddy was like, hey, you're obligated to accept the contract. The damage is part of it. You can't cancel the whole contract for the shipment, but you don't have to pay for the 7.
Well, look, I just sort of make sure that the figures are correct and that column A and column B work out, but and certainly very low level.
Okay, well, that's fine. So if you guys know each other in that fashion, that works for me. Silk, what's your guy's name?
Hello, everyone. My name is Barditas. I'm just, I'm a simple entertainer. I travel around a little bit. Right now, I live, outside Dragonmyrth. As it's a pretty low, modest living, but I've really, enjoyed, doing music performance, and I'm just a simple entertainer. I may have met you guys, and depending on if you came to a tavern I was performing at, or if you attended a festival. But
are you a big deal in Dragonmyrth? Do people know you? Are you famous?
No, I sort of prefer to try to fly a little under the attention. I find more fame is not always preferable for my lifestyle.
Gotcha. So Barditas is hitting all the open mics in Dragonmyrth.
It also sounds like Barditas has got a bit of a coke problem.
Oh, he's just a little nebbish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a simple, I'm a simple performer. I don't really have anything else going on.
If you keep this up for every session, I'm going to be absolutely at your feet.
You don't always have to use your character voice either, unless your character is actively speaking. If your character is speaking, you can use the voice. But if you're just talking in general, you can be yourself.
Yeah, no,
don't ruin your throat.
I was going to separate like my character with that voice.
That's a good introduction.
That's a very good voice.
Now we
I'm talking in character.
We
You
know
gotta
things
keep it
about
up,
your
yeah.
character
This-
without you
this
having to
one.
say them based on the voice. Okay, Biddy, who's your guy?
My name is Arbiter Sub Magistrate Third Class Tiberius the 16th. I'm
Damn.
essentially like a low-level administrative judge with a very fancy-sounding title because the bureaucracy is, as Pete pointed out, extremely extensive, and everyone has to have fancy titles. I basically,
Durson's
was your name
title
again?
is Durson, for instance.
I don't know. The more unimportant your job, the more important they make it sound to make you feel
Well-
good about yourself.
The
I'm,
chief protector of Dragonmyrth City is a guy named Wolf, and his title is also the Wolf.
What was your name again, Bitter?
Tiberius. Well, and like any administrative system, over time there's some bloat. So I'm sort of part of the bloat. I essentially rule on like tax-related disputes and accounting audits and that sort of thing. But I'm a workaholic, and so I've accrued too many vacation days, and I'm now required by the bureaucracy to take some time off and go adventuring for my mental health. So here I am. I knew Galapagos from before, and he suggested I get involved in the Adventurers Guild as a way to blow off some steam while I continue to work on my 100,000 page treatise on the rules and procedures, the parliamentary procedures of our wonderful and august system.
Works for me.
Okay.
By the way, I
So
don't know what sort of voice-
Biddy's slumming it with you guys burning some vacation days as his side hustle.
I love that. He's like, I am legally obligated to be here.
Otherwise, I'd be working. Yes, that's a very attorney thing to say as well.
All right,
Now
Colonel.
my cats are fighting. Sorry about
My name is Martinique Sansolano. I am a son of maybe like a third son of a noble house. So I don't have a lot of like responsibility to my family per se. I don't have to, like my older brothers have to marry somebody important, but my family's kind of blown me off because I'm a little bit of a troublesome son. All I care about is dueling and having a good time. And I find court life to be quite stuffy, so I would often just see if I could get away with stealing things from parties, and that's kind of led me on to
that triggered
basically
someone.
yeah basically just blown off my my family title and decided to become an adventurer because court life was too stuffy and not interesting enough. So now I'm just out to have a good time, meet some people, kill some people. You know how it is.
Dashing swordsman, so kind of a what's that guy's name I'm looking for? Sort of a
Basil Rathbone.
Basil Rathbone is a good one. I was thinking Casanova specifically. but
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
Just a charming fella who wants to fight. And
Do you know any of these
have a good time.
ever bumped into any of these other characters before?
I'm open to that. I don't know if he
The
would
answer- if-
necessarily.
If the answer is
I
no,
don't-
it can be no. That's fine. You could have just
I don't
got
think
to
he-
Dragonmyrth in town if you like.
I think he's from Dragonmyrth, but I don't think he's had anything to do with like the government per se, because he doesn't really
There
care
are,
about
there-
responsibility.
There are no nobles in the Dragonmyrth government. There are nobles in Dragonmyrth and Dragonmyrth City, but none of them work for the government, actually.
Yeah, that's what I
May
was
I-
thinking.
The nobles in the
ask-
government of Dragonmyrth are a little at odds, actually.
Yeah.
May I ask, do you have any dueling scars?
Only handsome ones.
I was gonna say,
Well, then
Add to
we've never
my
met because I would have
debonair.
cured those.
chicks
as soon
dig
as you had
scars,
none.
Tink. Come on, you got to have a
Yeah.
couple of them.
You
So
gotta have a
you're
couple, otherwise,
You're a fighter, Colonel?
Yes, I'm a fighter.
With a little dash of rogue in there.
Just a little, just a smidgen, just enough to keep it interesting.
Maybe a little more rogue than
That's a good
fighter, in
thing.
fact.
So I don't think I've ever met Biddy or Tink.
Well, you might have
But-
been hauled before a magistrate. I mean, you could have appeared in Biddy's court as a defendant, maybe.
If I met
That's
them,
up
I
to you.
definitely don't remember them.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Slexy, who's your man? Or lady. I'm not gender. You can be whatever gender you want. What's your name and
I'm,
job?
I'm Soul Sitter. I'm a cleric, and I'm gonna say I don't know any of you, and I'm just signed up for the guild.
Okay. Any
Mm.
background for your character we need to know about? You're a furbolg. They're pretty uncommon in Dragonmyrth, although not unseen. Furbolgs are relatively mysterious and would be sort of a novelty. People are going to look at you and going, whoa, hey, it's a furbolg. They're going to be... It's like seeing a black guy in parts of Missouri. Like if you were in, say, Columbia, it'd be like bumping into an African-American person. Be like, oh, wow, you're going to get looks. They'd be like, you're not bad or anything, but like, why are you here?
If you're black and it's below I-70, yeah, you're going to get some looks.
I wandered in. I'm looking for information about other furbolgs. I don't talk a lot. I'm just looking for information about other furbolgs, and this seems the best way to do it.
Okay, so you
what
got
is a
like
furbolg?
some...
Should I know that?
I have some... my hair is red and long. I am fairly unclean, I want to say.
Furbolgs
Do you smell?
They're a fey creature, so he is sort of magical. Kind of think elf, but even more exotic.
Yeah, kind of. They're like giant kin or something.
They're large. They typically live in they usually live like close to the earth. They are very like woodsy and naturey typically.
I am 8 feet tall.
They are also, that's another thing. They are, while medium-sized creatures, they are large individuals, which is another reason why you're going to get looks.
Oh. I'm just quiet.
And your god is which?
I haven't quite decided yet. I was actually going to go, I think, for the... I haven't quite decided yet.
You're Twilight, right?
Yeah, but I don't like the Twilight guy. It doesn't suit my nature, I guess.
So do you want to have a furbolg god rather than one of the official gods of Dragonmyrth? That's totally fine.
Sure. I mean, I was going to go for the just the goddess of death or whatever it was.
Oh, Lanthassa.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this. You the gods in Dragonmyrth are many and wondrous, and the major recognized gods are typically they have facets. So many of the other gods that people worship are usually it's just some facet of one of the other major gods. So likely you would worship, and the facets the flavor can be a little different. Lanthassa is a death god, but typically Twilight is not in her domain. But the offshoot or the sub-god, like your particular flavor of Lanthassa worship, maybe since as a god of death, like darkness is part of, dark death, dark whatnot, Twilight could have fallen into that splinter god domain. So we will keep that a note, and if you make up a name for your god, I will jot that down and add them to the pantheon.
Yeah, because I wasn't fully sold on the Twilight one.
And that's fine.
Furbolgs don't do greed.
Nope, that's cool. You can, Lanthassa isn't, oh god, never mind. Yeah, because you gotcha, Dunefell, right. No, that makes 100% sense. So if you want to just make up a name for whatever your god is and let me know what it is, I'll add them to the pantheon.
Really?
Yep. Okay, so that's everybody. All right then. So we will officially
if I may,
go ahead.
Can I just, before we get underway, I'd just like to thank Pete for organising all this and getting us all together and the work that he's put in and sorting out our characters and setting things up. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No
Also, you've succeeded where many have failed in keeping me sober until about 9 o'clock in the evening. Very, very good. Most impressed. Hopefully, this is a good sign.
So let me bring in some stuff here.
Thanks a lot, Pete. This is awesome.
We may need a few of these, depending on how you.
I can't see whatever's on the table.
I am just loading in some dice. Is all.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it just took a second for whatever reason.
It looks like we have a keeper of records amongst us. It's good.
Okay, so just some.
Yeah,
thanks. Okay, so let's start. It's morning in Dragonmyrth. Dawn breaks with the usual shattering sound that dawn breaks with. Tink, you are in your temple, and a man comes before you. It is a mist. You wake up, do your morning ablutions and whatnot, and as you're getting breakfast together, what appears to be like a hologram of a functionary you've seen before appears before you. He says, good morning, Tinkerbell. Sorry, good morning, Galapagos. Greetings from the Adventurers Guild.
Yes, hello. I just sort of take a little bit of lettuce out of my mouth.
Yes, well, I was checking our records this morning, and it appears that it's been some time since you've gone on an officially sanctioned adventure, and while your dues are in good order, you realize that you are also contractually obligated to periodically discharge at least one task from the Adventurers Guild sublist to maintain your good standing, and I'm afraid, my friend, that you are 2 weeks overdue. We're going to request that you report to the Adventurers Guild, immediately, if not sooner.
That is absolutely fine. I have a couple of patients to minister to this in my morning rounds this morning.
Yeah, very
But
well
I
then.
shall
Oh,
pass.
yes,
I shall
yes,
pass
that's
them
all,
over.
all well and good, sir. But please, I've many tasks to attend to this morning. I'm sorry. The office is open at 8 and will be open from 8 to noon, and then we're closed from noon to 1 for lunch, and any time after that until 6. Do sometime come by today, because if you do not, you shall be collected. And then he disappears in a puff of smoke.
That was pleasant. So I'll endeavour to be there after I have handed over my patients.
So the man disappears in a puff of smoke, and you are now free to do with whatever you want. So your plan is then you're going to attend to your guys, and once you've made your rounds for the morning, pop over to the guild?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything
else you want to do?
Well, I presume after Tiberius, how he introduced us, and at least our connection, perhaps he's actually already been contacted. And so that
if you want to go talk to him, you can go. If do you know where he lives?
I presume I do.
Okay, if you're that friendly, you might pop by his house. So you can
on the way.
That's fine. All right, so you're gonna go stop by Tiberius's house and then go to the Adventurers Guild.
Yes. So what I'll do, I'll sort out the patients, hand them over to whoever my second in command is, or the person above me, and explain why I'm leaving. I may be some time. I'll also send a junior runner over to Tiberius's place to sort of give him a note to expect me.
You do not have access to the runners in your temple. You would be that runner.
So then I put on my running shoes.
Okay. You go tell the abbess that, hey, I've got to go. If we don't necessarily have to roleplay this. You tell the abbess, hey, I got to go do a contract for the Adventurers Guild. And she goes, oh, yeah, the yearly thing. Yeah, whatever. You go handle that. That's fine.
Yep, no problems.
Okay. So you're heading over to Tiberius's on your way to the Adventurers Guild. Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go down.
Hopefully they are on the way.
Silk, where are you staying?
I'm in an inn.
Okay.
Under a table.
Very well then. Are you an early riser, late riser?
I'm early. I normally Bartatos sort of does tries to fly under the radar. So he's in basically I imagine him saying, "Oh yeah, this closet's fine." So he just puts down a bedroll or whatever and sleeps in a closet.
Gotcha. So you're staying in a low budget flop house. All right. Well, just as you get out of bed in the morning, then a man, what looks like the hologram of a guy. He's very well dressed in a nice, neat robe. Official. He's got a little book in his hand and what appears to be a stylus that he's checking off a list of items with. Appears in your closet. Effectively, he's standing sort of inside you if you're sleeping in a closet. He looks around, startled a little bit, and goes, "Ew, go keep it." Let's see. Bartatos, I guess.
Oh, yes. Hello. I have questions. First.
Yes. Well, there's no time for questions. I'm terribly sorry. Look, I've got a lot to do today. You are a member of the Adventurers Guild in good standing, but it seems to have been some time since you have completed one of your requisite adventures, and as such, in order to maintain your good standing, you will need to report to the Adventurers Guild for duty sometime today. So. Offices are open from 6 a.m. until noon, and then from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. Do stop by today. If you don't make it in time, you will be collected. Thank you. And then he disappears in a puff of smoke.
Oh, that was okay. Well, nice to meet you too, I guess. Yes, sir.
So, any other plans then? You know where the Adventurers Guild is. It's actually not too far from here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stretch, make sure I have all my stuff that I came with gathered up, and just start moseying out.
Okay. Any other tasks or anything you want to do on your way to the Adventurers Guild, or you can go straight there? To give you an idea what Dragonmyrth City is like, think New York City. Dragonmyrth is enormous. Any service or anything you could possibly want is available somewhere in this city. They have magical libraries. They got magic shops. They have weapons, armors. There's every kind of debauchery and entertainment you can imagine. Dragonmyrth offers all of it. It's just some of it is various shades of legal. But if you can imagine it, it's here.
Is it vertical like New York, or is it spread out?
So
Dragonmyrth City is large.
So I have a weapon for kind of defending myself, but I feel like if I have to adventure, I should probably go get like a shield.
Okay, so all right, we'll come back to that in a minute. Then you can stop by the Grand Bazaar. Literally, if there's anything for sale anywhere in the world, you can probably get it at the Grand Bazaar. And if you can't, it's because it's too damn illegal, and they can probably point you to somebody who will sell you one at a down low. So we'll schedule you for a stop at the bazaar.
Okay.
Biddy, what's your morning routine like?
Well, I wake up promptly and just, not sure what to do with myself. Just keep writing parliamentary procedure in my scrolls.
Okay.
Given that I'm off of work, and so
right.
I'm sitting in my room at my drawing table.
Gotcha. So you're at your desk in a blue hologram man, and you recognize this guy. He is one of the adjunct functionaries of the Adventurers Guild. His duty is to deliver. He's basically like a process server. Would be the best analogous for the best analogous role. This guy is basically a process server for the Adventurers Guild. Yes, good morning, Tiberius and other assorted titles. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you this day?
Excellent, excellent. Many business.
Some unsuspecting people out there.
Yes. We're both professionals. Let's dispense with the pleasantries. I have a very busy schedule today. I'm looking at the Adventurers Guild notes here, and I see that you have not yet. Well, yes, actually, not ever. I see. Goodness me, you're well overdue, sir. You are required to complete one of your mandated adventuring guild adventures, and I can't believe you are this far in arrears, sir. Someone should have collected you by now. Offices of the Adventurers Guild, you know where they are? Yes, no?
Well, yes, I do, and I would ordinarily lodge an objection to this subpoena, but
Yes, very good.
To do with my time,
you can
so
file the documents. Look, I've got a lot to do today. I'm terrible.
It'll just be a formal objection. I'm going to comply. I'll be there.
Very well. Office hours from 6 to noon, and then from 1 to 6. If you would like to file formal complaints, you may do so in person at the office. Good day, sir. And he disappears in a puff of smoke.
Good day. I get to work writing my formal complaint, even though I'm totally going to show up and just have to make sure my objection is preserved.
Perfectly fine. If you want to draft a brief before you go to the Adventurers Guild, you can absolutely do that. Is there anything else you want to do in addition to drafting your complaint brief?
I suppose I'll get all my things together. I assume I'm setting out. I think I have to at some point set up my ritual book. I'll write a couple ritual spells in there. We'll figure out what those are later.
Typically, you would prepare your spells. So if you want to make a note of what spells you have prepared for the day, you can do that. Usually the way spell preparation works is at the end of a long rest, you just sit down and study your spell book for, I think it's 15 minutes, and pick which spells you want. So that would probably, as a wizard, be one of the first things you do. Like when you wake up in the morning, you would tend to study your spellbook and prepare your spells for the day.
You bet. Yeah, I've never played a wizard before, so you're gonna.
And that's fine. And that could be you could be like, I just got up and was sitting down at my desk. I'll prepare this morning's spells and then get ready to go. Because a long rest doesn't necessarily mean sleep. Like you can do. Resting is lots of things. Some races, for instance, don't actually sleep. It's just they take a long rest and they do other stuff. If you were a Trabamodum, you'd spend some time as a tree, for instance. So
perfect.
Yep, you can.
Well, I'll do that. How do I prepare do I just pick a certain number?
There's on the character sheet that I sent, there's that little radial button, that little thing. You just make a note of which spells of which slots you have prepared. So as a 5th level wizard, I think you have 4 first level spells, 3 second level spells, and 2 third level spells.
Oh, I see. So I pick that number from each.
Correct.
Setting. Okay, gotcha. Yep. And I get to cast them each like once per day or something? You
can cast, if you want to prepare a spell more than once, you can. You just need to know which spells you have prepared and how many versions of that you have. And those are the spells that you have access to until you change your prepared spells at the next day. As a wizard, you will know many more spells than you can possibly prepare because there's no limit to the number of spells a wizard could know. You can write any spell you ever find. If it's a wizard spell, you can put it in your spell book to add to your library. So wizards are super versatile in what spells they have access to, but they are more limited in what spells they can cast on any given day. So that preparedness helps a wizard because if you know what kind of fight you're going into, you can tailor yourself to be really good at that. You'd be like, if we're going to go fight fire elementals, I better memorize an ice storm, for instance.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I'll prepare some spells offline here.
That's fine.
Cantrips you don't have to prepare, right?
You always know your cantrips, and you can cast them an unlimited number of times. Any cantrip you know, you can cast as an action pretty much at will. There's no limit to cantrips.
Beautiful. Well, I'll prepare my spells and write a very short formal pro forma objection, and then head down to the Adventurers Guild.
Gotcha.
Perhaps Galapagos will arrive at my house before I leave, but I don't know he's coming. So
okay. Colonel, you're in a gutter or in a like passed out in a pool of your own sick, or are you in bed with a lovely lady? What are you doing in the morning?
Can I roll to see how well I did last night? Like, am I at her place or am I just at some
So
pub?
we're with a lady. What caliber of lady are we talking about? Or is this like is this an Annette Bening, or are we talking about like maybe a Lindsay Lohan? Where was the target?
Well, I think that my beer goggles are gonna have to
So we're in the
be part of the
Lohan.
equation here.
We're in a
so
Lohan neighborhood then.
I think we might be in a Lohan neighborhood,
All
but
right,
I'm
then.
a gentleman, I don't judge. So
Give me 1 second, then I want to take a look at one quickly. Grab your sheet.
I should have rolled to see if anything cracked when I stretched. That's fine.
Okay, so Colonel, you're gonna make a persuasion roll. Yeah, you can just mouse over it and hit R.
Oh, that's not as much fun as doing this.
You can also do that.
Okay, I'm glad it didn't.
What's your
I got
total?
a 2. Uh-oh.
So you're alone.
Ah, bummer. All right, so I'm just at some pub in town.
Okay. Are you normally an early riser, or are you sleeping it off?
Oh, I'm sleeping it off.
All right. Well, you feel a very gentle nudge. It feels like what feels like a boot on your ass.
I want to whip around and like flail for my sword. Who's there? Who touched me?
Yeah. Good morning. Yes. Do you know who I am? How sober are you? It's always a pain when you're drunk.
Well, if you wouldn't try to bug me this early in the morning,
Yes,
I'd be
yes.
more sober.
Sorry. Are you Martinique by chance? Third son of the nobleman?
That's me.
Yeah. Well, we've been reviewing our contracts, and it appears that in addition to your other, he looks around the room at the empty bottles and the vomit and whatnot on the floor and goes, proclivities. It has been some time since you have discharged your duly required adventure to maintain your member of the adventurers standing.
I thought I just did one of these. Didn't I just go to some town and dispatch some goblins?
Entirely
Didn't I just do
possible.
that?
Actually, sometimes our record keeping can be, communication lines being what they are. We may never have received notification, but as far as records here at the Dragonmyrth chapter, subchapter 6, our records indicate you are due for an adventure. So, do you know where the local adventurer's office is? If not, I can give you directions.
I know where it is. It's
Excellent.
just-
Office hours are between 6 and noon, and then from 1
yes,
to 6.
I know. Somewhere in the afternoon, I'll be there.
Appear today, or you will be collected. Please don't make us collect you, because honestly, I don't think any of our runners are going to want to touch you. You're in quite a state. Might I recommend a bath, sir? And good day. He disappears in a puff of smoke.
I don't like that guy.
So, any plans then? How do you want to start your morning?
Coffee.
Okay.
And is there a bathhouse on the way?
Absolutely. You should have access to some gold, so you're currently enjoying whatever lifestyle you're willing to pay for. And
Well, I think I'm still on Daddy's payroll, so yes, I'm gonna go get a nice bath and tromp my way over to the guild. But I'm planning on arriving about 5 minutes before they close. So
okay, got it. All right, so you're gonna idle the day away, having lavish like lunch, and then sort of
yeah.
Gotcha.
A nice like hearty sandwich, like a good hangover meal, and then make my way.
Gotcha.
Over.
So you start doing that and get bathed. We will come back to you in a moment. Slexy. So Solicitor. Solicitor? I have trouble pronouncing your name. Pronounce it for me. Solsetter. Got it. What are you doing?
Like a slum?
Is there a slum? Bunches.
Okay. I am in probably a slum close to the guild because I just signed up.
Okay, so you just joined the Adventurers Guild, and actually the Adventurers Guild will provide services. So, like, if you're a member of the Adventurers Guild and you need a place to stay, they do have some limited barracks available. Think homeless shelter. It's much like a homeless shelter, just attached to the Adventurers Guild.
I would prefer to find a dark alleyway that's mostly abandoned.
There are really nowhere that's abandoned in Dragonmyrth, and if you sleep in an alley in Dragonmyrth, you're not going to wake up with your stuff.
Okay.
So an abandoned alley would be dangerous. So I would say probably like Flophouse sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a Flophouse then, near the Adventurers Guild, and there are some. The Adventurers Guild tend to be stationed in poorer areas of the city. There are some for fancy pants, hoity-toity adventurers. There's the main guild house. That's in the fancy ritzy part of town, but the rest of the chapters tend to be in the places where people are poor or desperate, because those are typically the kind of people that join the Adventurers Guild. So finding a flop house nearby will be no trouble. You're waking up in the morning and a man appears before you. He looks like a hologram. He's
I will be
very well
probably
dressed.
already be awake.
You recognize him actually, because you actually saw this guy yesterday when you filled out your paperwork.
Okay.
He's like,
I'll be awake, sitting cross-legged.
Soulsetter, yes, we spoke yesterday. Well, as a new recruit to the guild, I'm sorry, a bit regretful to inform you, but you are required to go on at least one official adventure in your first week. And are you currently are not under contract, correct? Just signed up yesterday.
I will nod.
Good.
And then I'll just stand up.
Well then, if you would swing by the offices of the Adventurers Guild then, anytime between 6 a.m. and noon or between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., please come by and we will get you sorted out and on your way to what is no doubt going to be a glorious career, sir.
As he's saying, we want you to be there, I'll just...
He seems to be being very polite to you for some reason.
As he's talking, I'm just going to walk through him and start heading.
It's a real go-getter. Yes, I like the cut of your jib. Yes, excellent. We'll see you momentarily then. And he disappears in a puff of smoke behind you.
I have nothing to do. I'm just going to go straight there.
Okay, go straight to the guild. Got it. All right. So you get to the guild house and you walk in, and the guy who just you saw an image of is actually there behind a desk. He's like, Soulsetter, you're a real go-getter. We're so happy to have you on board with the Adventurers Guild. The Furbolgs are very underrepresented, and I can't explain to you, I cannot express sufficiently how proud we are to have you as a member of the team. We've a number of adventures available today, but there are, as this is your first adventure, we have a sort of assayed what we think you are capable of based on your application. And we have found one particular contract which really seems as though it would suit your skill set. Would you like to peruse any of the others, or are you comfortable accepting our recommendation?
I'm comfortable accepting the recommendation.
Excellent. He hands you a slip of paper, and on the slip of paper it says, go meet Jonas Snyder at 6 p.m. at the Red Dragon Inn.
Okay. What time is it now?
It is like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So if you want to do anything throughout the day, that's not. If you just want to wait and say I'm cool until it's 6 o'clock, I'll go meet up.
Is there some place where I can just I'm guessing there's no wooded areas or...
There are some. There are many temples that actually maintain small celebratory glows. You could go to the grove. The Great Grove at the Temple of Chandria is very nice. It's sort of like a public garden. They let anybody go in there. If you want to go hang out there, that's totally cool. It's also a magnificent and wonderful garden.
Highly recommend.
I'll go there for a bit, and then I'll probably go and buy some herbs and stuff at some point.
Okay, so some light shopping. Anything in particular, or are you just buying commonly available stuff?
Just some herbs for cooking, and that's just
gotcha.
Common stuff.
Like garden variety surprise. Okay, we don't need to roleplay that. So you'll just be able to go get anything that you want at the bazaar. Just buy whatever it is at the listed cost. If you want to bargain, we can bargain. But okay, if you don't,
I have no bargaining.
Okay, if you don't want to bargain, you can just pay whatever the price listed in the PHB is for whatever you want and buy whatever you can afford. So we'll go to Biddy then. Biddy, you're getting ready to head over to the Adventurers Guild, and there's a turtle who's knocking at your door.
Well, let's see who we have here. My old friend Galapagos. How are you today?
Archdeacon. No, Arch... How you go?
It's all right. It's hard to remember my title. It changes every few months. That's right now. I'm Arbiter Submagistrate 3rd class, but it changes.
Arbiter Tiber. So I'm terribly sorry. I hope I'm not disturbing you, but I was visited by. Actually, you know what? Let me adopt the voice. I was visited by the Adventurers Guild about a hologram, who was a hologram, and they are insisting on my contract for the year. So I presume you have been contacted as well. Post our discussion the other week, I thought we could, if I'm not disturbing you, if you're not in the middle of something, we could travel there together.
Excellent. I was just planning to head there myself. I had an encounter with their wonderful process server, who I often use for my personal subpoenas. if you'd like me to help you appeal or object to it, I'm happy to. But I think for myself, I'll be going on this adventure. I've been a little bit short on things to do now that I'm on my furlough.
I have no objection.
Wonderful. Then shall we set off? Nice and slow, I always say. I am a time mage after all. We can always make up the time later.
Turtles are just as fast as you. They have a walking speed of 30, the same as a human.
I may speak slowly.
Yeah, Betty, that's racist.
I actually just love walking slowly because I can always just change the times if I arrive late.
Speciest?
Anyway.
Whatever it is, yeah, you're being it a little bit.
All right, look, I have lots of turtle friends. I don't know what your problem is right now.
Some of my best friends are turtles.
Anything else you guys want to do, or are you just going to go straight to the Adventurers Guild?
I presume I get access to certain herbs and stuff, free of charge from the garden.
No, the garden, they don't you don't work in the garden. You have to be very high level to maintain a garden. That's sort of a prestigious kind of thing. That's an important job, and you're not that important, so no.
Not.
Also,
yet.
you don't harvest. One simply does not harvest herbs from the garden. It's sort of a sacred and holy thing. If you want herbs, you can just go buy them at the bazaar.
No, I thought that they would obviously have some sort of apothecary attached to it, where they prepare the herbs that are then sold at the garden, at the bazaar. I mean, but anyway, okay, fine.
They don't. No, they leave the businesses to the business. When you come to the Temple of Chandria, they have bulk herb deliveries. They don't grow them themselves.
I've got some basil in my kitchen. If you'd like to munch on that a little bit, Galapagos. I'm not really sure what the whole herb talk is about.
Did you want to do any bargaining for buying stuff, or did you just want to go buy some common spell components and provisions and whatnot? Tink.
Me? Do I need spell components? I thought I just called on the god.
You can create food and water, sure. Some spells do require components, but mostly you should have everything that you would need. Really, all you need is mostly a holy symbol.
Yeah, most of our.
Unless you're gonna do, for instance, to give you an example, to cast the Raise Dead spell, which you don't know yet, but in order to cast that, in addition to your holy symbol, you also need 1,000 gold piece diamond.
Okay.
So unless you have any spells that have really unusual components, the way we typically play it, and because I don't like messing with wads of bat guano and people having to keep track of that shit, unless it's something that has a gold piece cost, just assume that you have it. So if you have a spell that's this spell needs a handful of grave dirt, well, you have one because that doesn't cost anything.
Fine.
It's like bless, you need a sprinkling of holy water.
And you have that because anything that you have or can make, if it doesn't have a gold piece cost listed as part of the spell cost, you have it on your person. But if you want to buy provisions or something for your adventure, you may want to do that after you figure out what area it is you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get the
okay
particulars out of the way first.
All right, so you guys can head to the guild then. All right, Silk, you just gonna? Is there anything you want to do? But you said you wanted to do some shopping, right?
Yeah, I wanted to see about getting something from an offhand, probably a shield of some kind.
Okay. What sort of shield are you looking for? Again, anything you want here is available on Dragonmyrth. We talking magic shield? You want just a regular garden variety shield? Does it need a special crest or something fancy emblazoned on it?
No. I am curious if there's anything something I could put on my arm, and then if I swing it a certain way, it pops out into a shield. So
you could just go buy a buckler that bolts to your arm. What you're describing is a magic item. It'd be a dancing shield, and those exist and are definitely available in Dragonmyrth, but I'll save you some time and tell you that you can't afford one. Dancing shield is, I think, a rare item. It's 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I don't have anything close to that, so I guess I want sort of a shield I can.
You could just go buy a buckler, which just sort of straps to your arm. It's just a small shield that straps to your arm. And if that's what you're looking for, you can go down to the Dragonmyrth Grand Bazaar, and there are dozens and dozens of armorers and weaponsmiths and whatnot who can readily make you any kind of shield to your specifications. So anything that's in the PHB, any of the equipment stuff that's in there, you can absolutely buy at the listed price.
I'm trying to find their I'm trying to find the equipment.
So shields, when it comes to shields, are pretty straightforward. It's just a shield, and I think they're 2 gold. Let me look real quick.
They're 10 gold.
So unless you want something super fancy or a magic shield, you can go to the armors and just buy a shield for 10 gold pieces.
That gives you a +2 armor.
If you want to barter or haggle because you don't have 10 gold, we can roleplay that, but otherwise you can just go buy a shield. That's fine. The Dragonmyrth Grand Bazaar is magnificent. Think the Marrakesh from Hitman. It's just, there are people and commerce everywhere. There's 1,000 stalls. Anything you can imagine is on display and available for sale. People are yelling and screaming. There's the fresh fish guy throwing, fresh fish, and like Belle walks by with a book and slaps an overhanging sign. It's the busiest part of Beauty and the Beast kind of marketplace, except with way more people and way weirder stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of something I can just kind of like clip onto like a hand.
Okay, so just you get a buckler then, 10 gold, and you have a shield. They used to keep track of all the different exotic kinds of shield, but they simplified it in 5th edition. It's just, you have a shield now.
Can I try to negotiate to see if I can get it cheaper?
Absolutely. You walk up to Bob's Shieldery. They specialize in shield, and Bob's there. He's like, hey, man, welcome to Bob's Shieldery. You want a shield? We got shields. Look at these shields. And he starts pointing behind him, and then he's in a frantic fury. I got big shields. I got small shields. I got bucklers. I got tower shields. I got pavises. I even got an actual wall from an inn that we tore down, put a handle on. It's the world's biggest shield. All available now. This is Bob's Shield Emporium. You want a shield? We got a shield. What kind of shield can I get you?
Hello, Bob. My name is Bartatas.
Hey, good to meet you, pal. What are you looking for? Look, we got a lot of stuff to do today. I don't know if you noticed, but Bob's Shield Emporium here is real busy, and we're Super Shield. We deal in volume. What kind of shield do you want?
Well, I have a bulk order of just one shield. I'm looking for something I can put on my hand. So.
Buckler. He wanders over to a chest and starts literally throwing bucklers at you. I got big ones, I got little ones, I got shiny ones, I got dull ones, I got gray ones, I got black ones. He's just flinging like frisbee style hurling shields at you.
Do you have any that are like some bronze, some something not too flashy? I'm kind of a simple guy.
Gotcha, bronze shield. Yeah, here you go. And he starts winging bronze shields at you. He's throwing like 5 at your face.
Okay. Is there any with like a slightly interesting but not like ornate pattern?
There's one that has a beer mug on it. There's one that has a star. Okay.
Let's go with the beer mug.
All right, beer mug shield.
Okay, I like this one with this.
Hey, fantastic! 10 gold. Then let's get you on your way. I'd love to put you in a good shield today. That's 10 gold. You out the door. Here you go, pal. Make with the cash.
Yeah, but here we are in the Grand Bazaar, and you got friends discount.
Shield, Bob points to a sign behind his head that says "No haggling." That's all well and good. That's fun, Timmy. That's great. But you can see it's the standard policy of Bob's Shield Emporium here. Look at the sign. The sign says "No haggling."
Let's see here.
Do you wanna try and barter with the no haggling guy?
I kind of do.
Okay, no, you can absolutely do that. So we're gonna make a roll here. You're gonna roll persuasion.
Okay. Let's see here. My persuasion is. Let's see. I got a +10. So let's see here.
All right, give me one of these d20s. And Bob has advantage. So okay, Bob got a 32. You want to roll a d20? Just grab one of these. Just mouse over that and hit R. Or grab, there you go. So what do you roll? A 16. So, and you have a 10 bonus to persuasion?
Yeah, so 26.
All right. So Bob looks at you, shakes his head, and he's like, nice try, pal, but, if you want to haggle, you're going to have to be a little better than that. Bob does this all day, every day. That's why I'm Bob Super Shield Emporium. I'm Bob. This is my shop, 10 gold. Bob got a 32, by the way.
Yeah.
32.
Yeah, he rolled a 20.
Oh.
Yeah, that really screwed me.
Bob is really good at this is Bob's job. He's good at this.
That's true.
This is Bob's Shield Emporium. He does this all day, every day. Dragonmyrth merchants are no slouches. It's usually they tend to be fair, but it's real tough to haggle with them. They're all good at their jobs. Otherwise, they don't work in Dragonmyrth. They've gone bankrupt. So did you just pay the 10 gold for the shield?
Yeah, I think I don't want to I don't want to derail us by then like trying to charm him and like
So
charming
okay,
can
to
be
give you an idea of that, using magic in the Dragonmyrth Grand Bazaar to try and win influence is frowned upon, and if you get caught, there will be repercussions for that. It's a really bad idea to try and steal or otherwise manipulate the merchants in the Grand Bazaar. You can. That's not to say you can't do it, because you can if you think you can, especially if you think you can get away with it. But it's very much frowned upon. And
I
for
think persuasion, after it wears off, they know.
Yeah, and for 10 gold, it's like you're gonna failing would be way more than 10 gold worth of trouble.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him. I'm just gonna say something. Let me just be like, well, I mean, you can't blame a guy for trying. I mean, you're out here, working hard every day, all day. So
No, Bob's with you. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's life's tough out there for a pimp, but you understand. Sometimes 10 gold's 10 gold. I got a family to feed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pay him the 10 gold.
Pleasure doing business with you, kid. Good luck. Hope that shield keeps you safe, and I like to be a mug. We'll see you around. And then he goes and wanders off to start yelling at another customer and throwing more shields at people.
You should have incited check to see if he had a family.
Okay, so anything else you want to do then, now that you've got your shield?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think that's...
Just head to the Adventurers Guild?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so you start heading that way. That just leaves Colonel's sort of having a light lunch. Slexy's already there. Biddy and Tink are on the way. So Slexy's just kind of killing it today, so he's handled. Next person to arrive is going to be Tink and Biddy. You guys walk into the Adventurers Guild, and the guy that you saw as a hologram is actually there sitting behind a desk. He looks up when you walk in. He's like, gentlemen, good morning. He's furiously writing.
Good morning.
He's furiously writing. He while he's talking to you, he's also simultaneously scribing in his book. Yes,
good morning to you.
Okay,
Just thought I would present you with my objection to your summons and also respond to your summons and arrive here for my adventure.
Fantastic. Then you have a formal complaint, I see?
Oh, just a formality.
Excellent.
More for my own purposes than anyone else.
Very good, then. Just file that here. He points to a hole in the ground next to his desk.
Wonderful.
If you toss it in the hole, when you look in, you'll see there a great big huge pile of documents in there, and at the bottom are several goblins that are sorting them and throwing them on conveyor belts.
Magnificent. What an organized system you have. I'm quite in awe of it myself. I need to get myself some basement goblins.
Dude, yes, I can't say enough how the basement goblins, they're such a time saver. But speaking of time, let's get on to business then, chaps. Yearly adventure then, if I remember correctly from this morning, right? Both of you are here for your compelling. So we've I took the liberty to save everybody some time involved of picking several adventures that I feel are suitable for you. But do you have any particular interest in one? There's a small team that we've put together for one adventure that, based on your applications and reviewing your extensive records, I find will be right up your alley. If you simply would accept my recommendation, that would be helpful. But if not, we can shop around a bit.
Could you tell me about your recommendation?
There is a cleric there of one of the local gods who's got a missing persons case. I think it's a missing persons case. The cleric in question who posted the job is, shall we say, eccentric, and he gives you kind of like a knowing nod, like kind of winks his head and then does the little finger by his ear motion thing. He is also a member in good standing, but he's just looking to subcontract and work some sort of missing persons case is what it appeared to me. I have trouble understanding him. His accent is very difficult. If you'd like to read the details, he will hand each of you a sheet of paper.
Sure.
And the sheet of paper says, meet Jonas Snyder at the Red Dragon Inn at 6 p.m.
Today.
Missing persons. Doesn't sound too bad. I think this isn't a bad idea, Galapagos. What do you think?
Yes.
Excellent,
Marvelous.
then. All right, then. So I will mark you both down as having accepted the contract, and if there's no further business, and you can tell he's very clearly wants you guys to leave.
Thank you.
Yes, let's be on our way.
Okay. Anything you guys want to take care of before you go to the inn at 6?
I have a question.
Sure.
Related to one of my skills. I have a slot or a rank in survival.
You do indeed.
Can Can I choose the environment, or is it preset?
It's every environment.
Oh, including urban.
Yep.
Interesting.
So survival is things like knowing which direction is north, finding food, that kind of stuff. So just
I was wondering,
generalized knowledge about the world.
Okay, I was wondering if it extended to urban, then I might have a little more nous about Dragonmyrth.
That would be more of a history sort of thing.
Well, I have a rank in history as well.
So is there something particular you want to know about the city?
No, I'm just wondering if that's the case, then I'll apply it later when needed.
Okay, survival is more like if somebody gave you a map or gave you an address in Dragonmyrth. Survival would be how you would you might make a survival roll to successfully get there. Yeah.
Excellent. Yep. Great.
Okay.
Well, in terms of preparation, I mean, since we have a bit of time, maybe we should go back to my house and review my records and see if we can find anything on this gentleman or the Red Dragon Inn in the official records.
You can absolutely do that. Sure.
Awesome. I don't know. What do you say? What do you say to that, my turtle friend?
Yes.
You could also go to the Dragonmyrth Grand Library too.
Oh, even better.
So that any kind of magical or mystical knowledge or mundane knowledge, the Dragonmyrth Grand Library is the biggest library on the planet, and it is enormous. That
do they have like a who's who?
They have a staff that will help you. The Dragonmyrth librarians are some of the most respected people in the city.
But I mean, there's not a published sort of book like there is in the UK of like people of note within society.
If you want to look for a specific person, they might help you. The problem you're going to run into is there are so many notable people in the history of Dragonmyrth. It would be tough for if you said like who's famous, they would be like, well, there's too many people to list. But if you had something specific you wanted to know about somebody, they would absolutely be able to help you find it.
Well, indeed, this fellow, the name we were given.
Yes.
Should we investigate?
I think we should. Yes. Let's. I think we both have like history and Arcana abilities and things. So I don't know if Arcana is relevant here, but yes, let's go to the library and look at records and see if we can find anything about this Red Dragon Inn, or I forgot the gentleman's name.
Jonas Snyder is the name of the
Jonas Snyder, exactly. Yeah, let's research these people.
Okay. All right. So you guys head over to the Dragonmyrth Library when you get there. The Dragonmyrth Library it's the biggest library you've ever seen. There are shelves upon shelves of books. It's in Dragonmyrth Castle proper. It is the one part of the castle that is accessible to the public. The shelves extend higher than you can actually see. The Dragonmyrth Castle is enormous, and literally at the top of the room there's like clouds of smoke and mist that conceal some of the tomes. This is it's a massive, enormous structure. There is a big long desk that's probably 700 feet long that stretches from one end to the other, and there are clerks and scribes and whatnot behind the desk. There are various lines. You guys queue up for one in about 5 minutes. You're standing before one of the librarians of Dragonmyrth. He looks up. He's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
We were seeking a background on a local personality by the name of Jonas Snyder.
Okay. Well, we don't normally do investigative type things here. Give me just a moment and I'll see if this is if we have anything in the records. Can you spell the name?
Forgive me. I did not mean this. We were in an investigative capacity. It was more a case of people who have done deeds of merit for the city that may be entered as
I'm happy to run a query in the archives. Can you spell the name?
Can I?
Yeah, you have a piece of paper that has his name written on it.
Exactly. So I hand it over.
Okay.
Make a spelling check.
So he turns away and goes over to what looks like some kind of sort of magic typewriter that has like electricity and various and sundry buttons on it, and he types the name in, and it's like, this may take a few moments. The archives are quite extensive. So he taps his foot and stares at the machine. You guys wait a minute, and then in a minute, a little piece of paper spits out the bottom. It's smoking, not like on fire, but it looks like it's cold smoke somehow. It's a little weird. He pulls it out, shakes it off, looks at it, and he's like, so not a great deal of information about Jonas Snyder. Is he a cleric by chance? I've got two Jonas Snyders. One is a tailor who lives at, and he gives you the address of somewhere in the haberdashery district of Dragonmyrth. And the other appears to be a cleric of something called Roy. Not familiar with that, but cleric of Roy who lives at, and he gives you the address of a temple of Roy.
And does obviously, I presume I recognize that deity or that temple?
You have never heard of the Temple of Roy or of any god named Roy.
Huh. Okay. Well, I guess that's our next. That's our next thing is we do some research on Roy.
I remember this story.
Thank you.
Okay.
I remember this story.
You don't, Slexy, trust me.
The story of Roy.
Is there anything else I can help you gentlemen with then? I'm assuming this is the correct Jonas? This is the gentleman you want?
Yes. If you have any more information about him, please let us know. But we'd also love to do some research on the deity Roy.
Just a moment then. And he goes over and types on a little machine then and comes back and out of the slot this time slides a thing that is a book. It's just an actual book. And he's like, here you go. And he hands you a book. This is everything we have on the god Roy. Enjoy, gentlemen. We don't need a copy of that, by the way. Apparently we have 2,640 of those, and they're free to all askers. So you can keep that. And
wow.
Is there anything else?
Thank you so much for your diligence and help.
Have a lovely day. Thank you for using the Dragonmyrth Great Library. We appreciate your endeavors, and make sure you pay your taxes because they do fund us.
Go in peace.
He motions for the next person in line.
Right. Well, I guess we head to the reading room and get our.
Okay.
Get our
you are reading what effectively strikes you. If you glance at the Book of Roy, it is very crudely written. It looks like it was perhaps scribed by hand, and very much reminds you of a Christian Bible. Except that instead of the God, it has the word Roy. There is apparently one God, and it is a monotheistic religion in worship of the person whose name is Roy, who is one or maybe three gods. The book is a little muddy on that. He apparently sacrificed himself to himself and came back as a zombie, and is immortal and everywhere all the time, but also not anywhere ever. So it's one of the most confusing and stupid books you have ever seen.
Spelled R-O-I or R-O-Y?
R-O-Y, Roy, like the name of a guy.
Sounds made up.
It's thousands of
marketing scams.
It's thousands of pages, and yeah, it does strike you as a little kind of like a sort of a marketing pamphlet as well. Yeah, you get a very strong vibe of you should worship Roy kind of thing from it. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can keep the book.
So
I mean, I have insight and religion, and so I guess.
Do you want to make a religion roll to see what you know about Roy or what this book says to you?
Well, if it's thousands of pages, I'm gonna have some sort of mega Chad level of insight.
You can skim it. I mean, you're a religious guy. This is in your forte. You can skim it. Go ahead and roll religion.
Sure.
Just roll D20 and add your religion bonus.
Get the gist, pick up the...
Yeah, you can skim a book.
Gaudy stuff,
You do this for a living. This is your thing. You're a bookkeeper. You can handle this.
That was a pretty weak-armed throw. How do you throw
Just mouse over it and hit R a couple times. Like hit R, it'll roll it. There you go.
Yeah, 12.
Okay, so what's your religion bonus? Should be like 8. I don't have your character sheet.
4. What?
Are you not? Oh, you're right. It's intelligence, right? Okay, so you got a 16. All right, a 16 is pretty good. You're looking at this and you're like, man, this theology is not good. Like, it's not even internally consistent. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you. It seems to be mostly nonsense and a desperate bid to get you to worship this god called Roy, who is both omnibenevolent but also has a proclivity for like rape and murder. It's real confusing. You're very, very puzzled. It's a bad book. Of the holy tomes you've ever read, this one is among the worst.
So as we're going through this, I share the knowledge with Tiberius.
Okay.
I smell a tax evasion scheme. We should probably pull up their tax records.
I think that is unlikely.
The Dragonmyrth library cannot give you access to a tax records for any church because they are tax exempt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're getting out of paying their taxes, like Scientology or whatever.
Could entirely be that. That is not an erroneous supposition. Like that's entirely plausible for the Church of Roy's existence. Is that it's just something somebody invented to be a tax scheme. That could absolutely be true.
Can I use my legal authority feature and present my Azorius insignia and say that I'm authorized as a magistrate class 3 to access tax records of any organizations performing an audit here?
Yes, very well then. Just one moment, and you go up to there's actually a specialty department for official business records and like public documents. You wander over to the public documents section of the library, and they're like, "Oh yes, absolutely, sir." And they run the query, and it comes back and it just says, "All we have is an address and a statement that says they're tax exempt as a religion. Here's the address," and he hands you a slip with the address on it.
Thank you very much.
Is the address consistent with what we
both
have
of you make a
on
quick
the paper?
yeah, both of you make
That's
a quick it does match, yes. Make a quick survival roll, both of you.
D20, I take it.
Yep, D20 and add your survival.
Well, that's not good.
I don't have survival. Do I add my wisdom? I guess I don't have a wisdom modifier either.
Yeah,
so I got a 14.
Yep, okay. With the 14, you recognize the address. It's in a shitty part of town. Like, you recognize the general neighborhood of that address. It's sort of familiar to you. It's in not a nice part of town. It's not the absolute, like, ghetto slums where you're going to get murdered, but also it's, if there was a trailer park in Dragonmyrth, there isn't, but if there were, this is where that would be.
It appears that our temporary employer, will be is somewhat limited of means.
That does seem like a concern, doesn't it?
Poor part of town, but it is a church.
May I suggest that we go and dine somewhere, and then we will head to the appointed place at the appointed hour.
You can eat at the Red Dragon Inn. The Red Dragon Inn is it's one of the most famous, well-respected inns in all of Dragonmyrth. It is the place to see and be seen. Think Club 54, except more elegant. Or Studio 54, except more elegant.
Yeah, I was going to say Club 54. That just sounds like a...
No, think Studio 54, except more elegant, yeah.
Right.
And one thing you do know is
can we afford to eat there?
Yes, you can. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. The stuff there is not inexpensive, but if you're capable of affording at least a moderate lifestyle, which I think is like 10 gold a month, you can afford a meal at the Red Dragon Inn. Also, one thing you do know is if this guy was super poor, he probably wouldn't be meeting you at the Red Dragon Inn.
Well, there we go. That's something for Tiberius to sort of draw a line to, I think.
I think he's probably parting poor people with his money, if I had to wager a guess. But let's. I think it's not a bad idea to go to the Red Dragon Inn and have a meal and scope it out, check out for anything suspicious and that sort of thing, and see what's going on. Okay. What do you say to that?
Everything is suspicious in Dragonmyrth.
That's true. That's a good point.
Okay, so Silk, you arrive at the Adventurers Guild. And there's just a guy sitting there scribbling furiously on a great big huge book when you arrive. He looks up and says, yes, Bartimos, is it? I'm sorry, your name escapes me for a moment, but let me check my notes.
Yeah, hello.
Bardithos, yes,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Bartidas, yes, hello.
You're here about
I was told to...
compulsory adventure, yes?
I was told I needed to attend or I would be... forcibly, taken or confiscated. I forget the gentleman that poofed in the smoke. He told me, I had to come here.
He stops scribbling and starts tapping his pen on his piece of paper, waiting for you to finish.
So I haven't been on an adventure for some time.
He starts chewing on his bottom lip.
I had. I had to get a shield. Is there a form I could fill out for an expense so I could get reimbursed for this? This was it was not the kind of thing.
Yes, if I might interrupt you, sir. Bardithos, are you certain you're a bard? Our records indicate you're a bard, but you don't strike me as the sort. Are you certain, sir? Sure, you're not a playwright, perhaps?
No, trust me. I would know if I was the kind of
yes. Oh, very lovely. Yes.
I mean, I do have my bagpipes here, sir. So if you'll give me a moment, I can.
He picks up a paperweight off of his desk and wraps a piece of paper around the paperweight and throws it at you. It bounces off your chest. It doesn't hurt, but he's visibly furious at this point. That's your assignment. Go. Now go away from. Just please leave. Take the assignment and go.
I'll probably be performing at a tavern later, so you can, see my.
I can rest assured that the one thing I will not do is see any show you are in ever. In fact, if you were performing in an inn, I would be more inclined to burn it down than attend. And he goes back to scribbling in his book.
Okay, well, thank you for the assignment. I'll see you, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and pick it up and.
So it is a piece of paper, and on the paper it says, "Meet with Jonas Snyder at the Red Dragon Inn at 6 p.m. today."
Okay.
So, anything you want to do before you head there?
I kind of feel like I should just pick up the paperweight and put it back on his desk or something.
If you try and approach his desk, he's gonna throw more stuff at you.
Oh, well then I'm just gonna leave it on.
Like when you pick up the paperweight and start walking towards his desk, he reaches down and grabs a quill, and he looks like he's gonna blow dart it at you or something. He is very annoyed with you.
Free paperweight.
Yeah, I mean free paperweight. He does not seem to care if you take his paperweight.
Okay, well I'm taking the paperweight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do then, or do you just want to go at 6?
I mean, I might see. Is there any way I could just do Is there a place nearby I can do a street performance of some kind to try to get a couple coins?
Absolutely. Make a survival roll. No, you know what? Sorry, make a history roll. Actually.
All right. D20?
Yep.
Yeah. Can't tell what that says.
If you mouse over it, it should tell you what the number is, even if you can't see it.
It's a 2, and I have 2 for my bonus, so I have a 4.
You have no idea where you would go busk. Like, you have no idea where a good spot for that would be. Like, if you want to find a street corner and throw down a hat, you can, but, I mean, as far as you can tell, any one street corner is exactly the same as any other. A corner is a corner.
Well, then I guess I'll go head over. I'll start meandering over towards the Red Dragon.
Okay. One thing you do know is they do not allow people to busk at or near the Red Dragon Inn. Like, guys will come out and be like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here." There are professionals inside that people pay for, so no busking here.
That's cool. I can still wander over there.
Okay. So, Colonel, you're lounging around, having a few drinks, eating what is a magnificently huge sandwich, and 2 very large half-orcs walk up to you, and they're like, Hey, you Montanique, 3rd son of the noble?
Who's asking?
You're supposed to be at the Adventurers Guild, and I can't help but notice, and they look around, they're like, yeah, this ain't the fucking Adventurers Guild. So you're coming with us, pal.
I still have time before they close. I'm making my way over there.
Yeah, we weren't really, we have instructions from the guild, and this wasn't really like an optional sort of thing. I think our boss is having a real bad day. He said something about a nebbish bod coming in, and I've never seen him this mad, ever. Like, he's normally pretty unflappable. He was pissed. You should really probably just come with us.
All right, what's your guys' names?
This is Jim, and I'm James. No relation.
Hi, Jim. Can I get you guys a beer before we go?
We don't have. Look, seriously, man. My boss is gonna eat my ass. Not like in a good way either. If we don't get you over there, I really, please, you really be doing me a favor if you just come along. Don't make this hard. And he pats he's got a big mace on his belt and he starts patting it.
It's fine. I toss some coins down on the table to pay for my sandwich, and then sling an arm around either guy's shoulders and be like, all right, let's have ourselves a stroll, shall we?
Cool. They make a seat under them and they actually pick you up, so you're sitting on a cradle between their 2 arms, and they start running toward what you think is the direction of the Adventurers Guild.
Well,
they seem very motivated.
Whee! This is a good time. Can't we take this around the block a few times, boys?
Seriously, we'd love to, but we ain't got time for that. And then they knuckle down and bend over, and they are running faster than you can run. These guys are really hauling ass.
I am holding on for dear life.
Okay, well, a minute or 2 later, you come out and they stop in front of the Adventurers Guild, and they're like, there you go. And one of them runs inside, waves at the guy behind the desk. He's like, hey, Master Phelps, he's here. And then he makes himself scarce. You can tell they are afraid for some reason.
Tip you guys or something.
Don't worry about it. They're actually running away.
Have a nice day. He saunters lazily into the front doors.
Okay. There's a man sitting behind a desk furiously scribbling, and you can actually hear his pen scratching on the paper. Like he's clearly writing way too hard. He's a little red in the face, and he looks super pissed. It's the angriest writing you've ever seen anyone do.
Martinique just kind of leans one elbow on the.
You're Martinique? The guy looks up, says, "You're Martinique?"
That's me.
Excellent. Here. And he throws a piece of paper at you.
It hits me in the face because I was like leaning over his desk.
It's not wrapped in a paperweight. It just like bounces off your chest gently.
Okay, well, not as
the
nice
paper
a service
says
as
meet
I got earlier.
The paper says meet Jonas Snyder at 6 p.m. at the Red Dragon Inn.
What time is it now?
It is about 3 o'clock.
Okay, I take the paper and just shove it in my pocket and leave.
Okay. Anything you want to do before you head to the Red Dragon?
I don't think there's anything I need to do. I think I'll just kind of saunter over there.
Okay, so 6 p.m. rolls around and you guys are all in the Red Dragon Inn. Not seated together except for, I'm guessing, Biddy and Tink.
Yes.
I might have a bit of issue getting in because I'm
Nope.
not
No
clean.
problem whatsoever. There are when you walk up to the door, nobody even gives you a second glance, which is weird because you're a furbolg and enormous, but you don't even the two bouncers at the door, who by the way are like, you just looking at them, you're intimidated. These guys are bad asses. You can tell they are encased head to foot in what appears to be, but definitely isn't, solid gold plate armor. Each of them has a shield and the biggest damn bastard sword you've ever seen.
Is the place crowded?
It is absolutely fucking packed.
I'd love to see them swing that sword then.
You really wouldn't. You get the impression that you get the impression that starting shit in this bar. Well, I mean, you're from Dragonmyrth, Tink. You guys know you don't fuck around in the Red Dragon Inn because they will ruin your shit. If you're lucky, you'll wake up. Well, if you're lucky, you'll wake up. If you're not lucky, you'll be a puddle in a sewer somewhere. You don't start shit or try shit or misbehave at the Red Dragon Inn. They have a very, very below zero tolerance policy. You want to party, you want to go crazy and get wild, go somewhere else. But if you want some upscale, high-tony entertainment in a safe environment with fantastic food and fantastic shows and fantastic performers, this is the place to come. If you want to get sloppy drunk for cheap, you aren't going at the Red Dragon Inn.
I'd like to make a perception check when I get in here and just kind of see if I can tell who this guy is, the employer, whatever his name is.
You're looking for Jonas Snyder? Okay. Go ahead, make a roll.
I was gonna go up to the bartender and ask, or the maitre d,
okay,
or whoever sort of.
There is in fact there is a host at the door. There's a host's podium.
Yeah, I just was gonna ask the host.
That's fine.
I got a 16 plus 8.
Okay.
Perception.
You look around and there are so many people in here, you have absolutely no idea which one of them is Jonas Snyder or how you would even find them, but you do see a host stand that has a very friendly looking half-elf behind it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's where I'm headed, so...
okay, so you two are probably together, because you would have arrived at about the same time. So, you see two... So, you're a human and Colonel, you see another human, both of you guys walk up to the stand at the same time? You're a half-elf, I'm sorry.
I make like an after you kind of gesture to him, because I see we're walking up at the same time.
Okay.
So the host says, "Yes, gentlemen, can I help you?"
Yeah. Hi. I'm supposed to meet an associate here named Jonas Snyder.
Mr. Snyder. Yes, he has. Yes, he has a reservation for 6 p.m. at table 22, which is on the 3rd floor, down the right-hand hallway, first door on the left. You're a bit early, but the table is currently open. Would you like to wait?
Yeah, I could wait.
Excellent.
Do I just get myself up there, or do I need an escort?
He snaps his fingers, and a small kobold appears below the host stand and makes a motion as if it wants to lead you somewhere.
Okay, well then I'm just going to say, "Thank you very much. I appreciate it," and then follow the kobold.
Fantastic, and just let the kobold know if you'd like any beverages or other refreshments. And then he turns to the Colonel. Hello, Martinique. Back again, I see. What can I do for you today? The usual?
I'd like just a reservation for some dinner up on the 3rd floor, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, but I fear that we're fully booked. And after your last visit here, I think we both know that you won't be getting any additional reservations.
Everything got paid for
Look,
in the end.
no, your father has cut you off.
Friends.
Your father has cut you off. If you're going to want any services here, you're going to be paying gold up front, and we both know that you can't afford that. So come on, don't make this difficult. Is there something else you can do?
For old time's sake.
Don't pretend like we're friends. Come on.
We're completely booked up tonight.
Do I need to call? Do you really want me to do it? Because
no, that's fine. I
was gonna say Q and R are outside, and I will call them. Q and R, you know, are the names of the 2 guards.
Yeah, the guards. They don't actually like me that much, so I think I'll just.
R has frequently expressed a strong desire to murder you. I believe as recently as last week.
We just got off on the wrong foot. Really, I think we're due for.
R doesn't really have a good foot.
That might explain it, because I'm actually a very likable person, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, we'll agree to disagree. What do you want, though? Seriously, what are you doing here?
Actually, I already know where I'm going. I'm meeting such as Bucket.
You know, that's not how it works. Who are you here to meet?
I show him the.
Oh, the same guy as the dude just left. Are you guys together? And he points at Silk's retreating back. Well, well, Snyder has a reservation just here, and he snaps his fingers, and a kobold appears, and he's like, "Just go with the kobold. You know what to do." He snaps his fingers.
All right. I'll catch you next time, babe.
I mean, not if I'm lucky. So you're just gonna follow the kobold?
Yeah, I'll walk up.
Okay. It takes you into what is like a private booth, and the Silk Monkey is sliding in. It's a large, round, silk cushioned booth. There's some light refreshment and some nibbles on there, like pretzels and whatnot. So some light snacks, and there's like a pitcher of beer and a decanter of wine that's waiting. The kobolds look at both of you and make a gesture as if to say, "Is there something else you guys want?"
Just beer for me, thanks.
The kobolds skitter away. Then there's beer on the table.
I sit in and turn to the half elf and say, "How'd you do?"
Yeah, I got. Did you get the ghost telling you to go to the the Adventurers Guild? I don't even remember signing up for that, but I travel so many places. I've had some cocktails and things, and I sometimes forget what I was doing, where I went at night and things. So it happens, but here I am, trying to find out what's going on. Do you know what this is about?
So you guys are chatting a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys chat. Slexy, do you walk up to the host stand?
What time is it? Am I getting there on time?
It's like 3:30 ish.
Okay. Yeah, I'll walk up. I'll walk in.
Good afternoon, sir. What can I do for you? There's a half elf behind the desk.
Oh God, I forgot the guy's name. I'm gonna tell them
It's on a piece of paper. His name's Jonas Snyder. You have it written down.
Okay. I'm here to meet. I'm just gonna say, I'm here to meet Jonas Snyder.
Yes, Mr. Snyder. He has reservations at 6, but the booth is available. He expected that some of you might arrive early. He snaps his fingers. Little kobold appears below him at his feet. And he's like, if you follow the kobold, he'll take you. If you need anything, just let the kobold know what it is.
Okay.
And the kobold motions for you to follow him.
I'll quietly follow the kobold.
Okay. He takes you upstairs to a very nice little secluded booth. There's a half elf and a human in there sitting there having a nice, delightful chat. And there's beer and some wine on the table as well, some like small refreshments.
Okay.
How many people got signed on to this gig anyway?
I'll tell the kobold that I'd like a jug of water.
He nods and then scampers off, and like a minute later he comes back with a great big huge decanter of water. Sets it on the table and then makes a motion like, "Do you want anything else?" You can tell he's looking for additional commands.
Nope.
He scampers off then.
How'd you do?
I do well. I'll sit. I guess it's. I don't know.
It's a big booth. There's plenty of room for you all to sit comfortably without invading anybody's personal space.
Okay.
This is a very opulent sort of meeting place. Like, this is some fancy shit. It's if you're from the Furbolg territory, this is one of the fanciest places you've ever been.
Okay. Yeah.
Gold embroidered cushions. They're made of pure silk. The booth is enormous. There are footstools. The wine is amazing. The beer is delicious. The water somehow seems better than regular water.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just sit and I'll introduce myself and.
Okay, so you guys get to know each other a little bit and are chatting. Tink, you and Biddy also now are outside the Red Dragon Inn.
I think we'd again. This is about 3 o'clock, is it?
Yes, roughly ish. It's a little before 4. You guys were at the library for a while.
Yeah, and so we were going to have a bite to eat. So I guess we just proceed in.
You can absolutely get food here, and in fact, given your druthers, this would be one of the best places in town to possibly eat. So
marvelous. Well, in we go then.
The food at the Red Dragon is world renowned. So you walk up to the host stand. Biddy, you've probably been here before. Tink, you may have heard of this, but probably haven't ever attended. So you guys walk up to the host stand. There's a half-elf behind it. He's like, "Good evening, gentlemen. How can I help you?"
Well, good evening, my good man. We're just hoping to get ourselves a little dinner and meet our acquaintance here.
Do you have a reservation, sir? We're quite full this evening. As you can see, any motions to the inn, and it's absolutely packed with people everywhere. No reservation, then?
Well, I suppose we don't. I normally am, treated to a little extra service here when I come, but it's all right. We can wait, I suppose. I'll just use some temporal magic to kind of speed up the waiting process.
Maybe don't do that. He points to the sign. There actually is. He points to his left, and there's a placard with a list of rules, and the number 1 rule on the top says, "No fucking magic."
That's broad.
Well, if it is a rule, I suppose I'll follow it. That is my way. But well, I suppose what about our acquaintance here? Maybe he has a reservation.
Are you meeting someone? What's their name?
I forgot the guy's name again. What's it say on the page?
Jonas Snyder is the man.
Jonas Snyder. There we go. I remember.
Ah, yes, Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Several of his guests have already arrived. He has a booth waiting. If you'll follow the kobold, and he snaps his fingers, and a kobold appears underneath the little podium and dashes out and makes a follow me gesture.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so you follow the kobold, and he takes you upstairs and down a hallway and into what is like a nice little curtained off private booth. There's a furbolg, which I don't know if you've ever seen a furbolg before, but there's a very large furbolg, a half-elf, and a human already seated at the table. The kobold makes a, "Is there anything else?" sort of look. He kind of gestures and is like, "Do you make some eating motion and whatnot?" Pantomimes. He's asking for your order, is what you gather.
We'll take a large sampler of appetizers for the table here, just to get everyone in a good mood.
He nods twice and dashes off.
Oh.
If as soon as you say another kobold scampers out from under another nearby table and looks at you and makes the same "Do you want something" gesture.
Water and lettuce, please. Thank you.
He dashes off as well. A minute later, the first kobold comes back with what is a fantastic sampler tray of appetizers, and then there is also a ornately rose carved. There's a head of lettuce carved into the shape of a rose on a silver platter, and they set both of those down and then scamper off.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? Or I guess all the characters.
Everybody's here, yeah. Everybody's all together.
This is
well,
nice.
anyway. Yes, my name is Grand Arbiter Subdeacon Magistrate Tiberius the 17th, and I just wanted to introduce myself.
Okay, Ty. That I appreciate all that. I'm just gonna call you Ty. That's easy.
Yeah, that's gonna be way easier. You're one of those, aren't you? One of those government types.
I suppose I shouldn't be using my title on vacation, but go ahead. Yes.
The expression, where I come from is, the real, they got the stick in the where the excrement comes out. I don't know how it translates in this region, but
okay,
I think the general expression. You
guys chat for a while and get to know each other and exchange stories a little bit, and I'll find out that you're ready. You're all here to meet the same guy, and you're all here for the same reason. None of you have done your filial duty to the Adventurers Guild and all got shanghaied into your annual yearly quest because you're a bunch of slagabouts who haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing according to guild rules.
That's unfair.
So a few minutes before 6, a guy walks into the booth, and he doesn't sit down. He stands at it's a round table that you guys are in, like a sort of a horseshoe-shaped booth with a big table in it, like think King Arthur. And this guy stands at what would be the opening of the horseshoe at the table. He's like, "Oh, good, y'all are here already. I like it that you're early. That's nice." He is what appears to be a cleric. He is wearing plate mail, but it is the dirtiest, illest kept plate mail you have ever seen. It's like it's rusty and it's got a bunch of dents in it. He has a staff that he's carrying. It just looks like an ornate quarterstaff, but it's got this little like an eagle on the top of it. He also has a shield, and on his shield is a great big giant letter R. Around his belt there are like 17 books attached. Tink, you and Biddy recognize that this guy has 17 copies of the Books of Roy attached to his belt.
But not the several thousand-page versions, surely.
No, yes. The book that you got from the library, he has 17 of them attached to his belt, and he also has a bag tied across his back.
How big are these things? Or has he got like miniature versions?
Think Gideon's Bibles.
Microfiche.
Think of a Gideon's Bible. It's like a Gideon's Bible that you would find in a hotel room. Well, I'm glad y'all are here. So you're the adventurers then?
That's what they tell me at the office.
Great. Well, here's the deal. And he reaches into his bag and pulls out a dagger and sticks it point first in the table. Y'all are going to go find Roy and use that knife to kill him.
Who?
I'm going to raise my eyebrows at
that. Roy. Like, have you guys not heard the good word? And then he reaches down, pulls a Bible off of his belt, and tosses it into your lap, Colonel.
Before he can do that, I pull out R1.
Oh, you guys are you devotees of Roy? He suddenly looks super excited that you guys have heard about Roy. Are you guys members of the good church? You guys heard the good word?
Oh, only in a minority sense.
Well, Roy welcomes everybody. His loving embrace encompasses them all, even those of us, and he looks at the Furbolg, who don't necessarily, let's just say, aren't normally our sort. Roy loves even your sort, and he's very clearly looking at Slexy.
Well, that was being straight up racist, my dude.
I mean,
don't. Excuse me. I have a question.
Yeah.
So this Roy sounds like some kind of deity, and you say he's all loving, but you want us to kill him with a dagger?
Yeah.
So,
well,
something is not making sense there, sir.
I mean, y'all make a good point, but if you'd read your Book of Roy, and at this point he reaches down to his belt and tosses one to you, Silk Monkey, you'd be like, y'all know that Roy is more than happy to die for his devoted. If you go to the good book there in the middle part, what we like to call the Old Roy Testament, just before the Testament of New Roy comes rolling about, you'll see all about the whole. Well, it's really kind of a journey with Roy, and periodically. Okay, look, Ollie, I'm just going to be a straight shooter with you. Roy is not as popular as I would like. There's a whole world full of people, and honestly, of all the people I've met, like maybe 7, and he holds up 9 fingers, have agreed to follow the worship of Roy. And I think it's because it's been so long since Roy died for all of our sins that we don't... Well, I mean, people need an example. They need to know that Roy is the one true path to salvation, and I feel like if he'd just die for their sins again, then people would see the light. So I feel like this is the best way for me to convert people to the worship of Roy.
Let me get this straight. Your god is lame, and so you want to kill him.
Now, hold on just a minute there. Nobody's, like, if you say Roy is lame, you and me is going to have some trouble.
I'm repeating, I'm active listening. My mother tells me I need to work on this.
So he twitches his fingers and you guys can't hear Colonel Sherbert talk anymore. She's talking and you can see it, but you can't hear the words that are coming out of her mouth.
Oh, is it?
You have been ensorcelled.
Oh, he keeps talking though is the thing.
Yes.
Martin doesn't notice.
Yeah, so you're, and as far as you can tell, you're being ignored by him. He's like, yeah, nobody's like, don't be bad mouthing Roy. I don't put up with that. So, are y'all amenable to the agreement or what?
I thought it was a missing person's job.
I would like to. I would like some more information. Like,
Sure. The missing persons.
What can you tell us about Roy and like where would we find this Roy?
Well, your turtle friend here makes a valid point. Roy is technically missing. Ordinarily he would manifest himself, but well, let's just say Roy's shy. I think that's kind of why people don't know about him so much. Is he's real hard to find. I mean, he's not hard to find because Roy is love and Roy is everywhere. He surrounds us at all times. All plays Roy, and he like does a genuflect sort of thing. But in this particular case, he's been tough to find recently, and that's part of the gig. So it's sort of a missing persons thing, and then maybe a murder, although not really, because I'm sure Roy will be happy to die for your sins. He's nice like that. That's how Roy rolls. Like once you tell him you're there to kill him, he'll probably just like let you do it. It's usually the way it works. You may need to make like a tree out of wood and nail him to it, but other than that, like you'll be fine. The missing persons part though, yeah. So well, nobody really knows where Roy is, and finding him is going to be the first bit of that. And what I need y'all to do is well, first things first, you're going to have to find Roy before you can kill him. But fortunately for you, I know where somebody is. I know somebody who can find him, and that person owes me a favor.
I was just gonna like ask: can I see anything like interesting about the dagger he stabbed into the table? Like, is there anything that's noticeable?
Yeah, I mean, how does he get away with that for a start?
Yeah.
So you're not sure. That's a good question. Normally damaging stuff in the inn would be problematic. They tend to frown on that. As far as your question goes, Silk, it looks like it's a nice-ish dagger. It's not poorly made, but also it's not like encrusted with gold or anything. It just looks like a nice, well-made, serviceable dagger. Okay, if you want to make an Arcana roll, Biddy, you and Biddy, Slexy, and Tink, you guys can make an Arcana roll.
D20.
Yeah, it's a D20, and add your Arcana.
Okay, I'm gonna have to roll real well.
I got 25 total.
It is magical, the dagger, and it radiates very slightly of abjuration magic. So it is a modestly magical dagger, Biddy.
What is abjuration magic? It's like counter spells or something?
Magic weapons almost always radiate abjuration magic. That's just the kind of magic they radiate. So it is probably some sort of magical dagger.
Interesting.
It's not.
What about a religion check? Can we do like a religion check on it to see if it's like a religiously important dagger or if it's just like some dagger this guy has?
Sure, make a roll.
Like, is it a relic or is it okay? I think probably Galapagos has a higher religion than me, but I am +4. I only got a 13 total.
And one thing I just want to mention to you guys when it comes to skill checks like this, you can cooperate. So, for instance, let's say if Biddy is the best at something, you can, instead of rolling yourself, you can help Biddy, which gives him advantage on the roll. And as long as you're trained in the skill, you don't even have to be trained in the skill. You can just help Biddy out, and he will get advantage on the roll. You don't have to do that. You can roll independently, but.
Oh, nice. Well, I guess I already rolled.
I was gonna say I have like +2 on Arcana for some reason.
What'd you get? Because you guys rolled individually here, so everybody tell me what you got.
I got 15.
Okay, you know the same thing that Biddy knows, Tink. Silk, you're pretty sure it's a magic dagger, but you're not quite sure how.
Okay. That was pretty cool.
Slexy, what'd you get?
I got a 15.
Okay, it is very clearly a magic dagger. It is some manner of magical dagger. If you want to
roll, I help Tink do a religion check? Actually,
sure,
on this,
absolutely.
Yeah. I think
I did one. I thought that's what I did.
Y'all seem real interested in this dagger. What do you want to know about it?
Why do we need to use this particular?
Oh, that's the holy dagger of Roy. That's his dagger. That's the holy dagger of Roy. That's the one artifact we have in the Church of Roy. That's the one artifact we have.
Know what's going to happen, right? He's going to leave it to us to pick the dagger out of the table, and then we'll get stiffed for the cost of the damage. This guy's a fucking operator.
So really, we're just returning the dagger to Roy.
I mean, yes, if by returning you mean stabbing it in, let's say, his heart or liver, sure.
So how difficult would it be for one of us to just pull the dagger out and then like quickly like make the table look like it just gets shanked?
you want to just pick it up?
Yeah, like I just want. I also want it to
Okay.
like not. I want to do so in such a way that it doesn't let like I can quickly conceal that it stabbed the table, so I don't look like guy who's shanking the table.
Put an appetizer plate over it.
You guys. He's like, don't worry about the table. Like it's fine. If you pick up the dagger, and it feels just. I mean, it's just a dagger. It's a magic dagger.
Okay. Okay.
You can identify it later, but it is. You're pretty sure it is some variety of magical dagger.
I'll go. I'll hold on to this for now, and I'll just go ahead and like.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, probably don't lose that. You're gonna. Yeah, don't lose that thing. It's the one artifact my church has. I'm not too terribly sure why I'm entrusting you guys with it. That's how you know this mission's important, though. I gave you our one relic. So anyway, back to the person who's gonna help y'all out. Her name's Zenobia. You maybe have heard of her. Everybody make a quick history roll.
I got a 2.
Okay.
I got a 2 too. These dice are cursed.
Wow, they don't roll well.
Man.
They actually roll pretty good. You may have to just hit them a couple times. Like if you drag select it, and then you can hit R and roll it a bunch. You can just keep hitting R and keep rolling it.
What do you mean? What, until we get the number we want?
No, I mean it's still going to be random. It's every time you hit R, it applies some physics forces to it. But hitting R once doesn't necessarily give it like a super great roll. If you
but you can drag and let it go like a bowling ball.
When there's going to be there's going to be other stuff on the table, and if you're bowling it, you're going to fuck shit up. So it's important that you not roll that way.
Just rolled an in-person dice.
Yeah, just like do a square select, like drag select the dice, and then just hit R a couple times, and it gets actually pretty. Yeah, there you go, you got it. Exactly.
I got a 16, by the way.
Okay, you have heard of Zenobia. She is the leader of Karenborg. Zenobia is the person who perfected the transition from life into unlife. She is a powerful mystic and a diviner, and she is maybe the best diviner who has ever lived. Anybody else get did anybody else get a 14 or better? It's not hard to know who Zenobia is. She's important. Actually, if you get above a 10, say so.
Nope.
Well, this is going to seem very suspicious. The first time I use my own dice, I get a 20.
Okay, anybody who beat a 10, and I would prefer you guys roll the dice that are out here. We'll get dice. So the rolling mechanic in tabletop simulator just makes things easier. Anyway,
I've just been rolling.
So everybody but the Colonel then has heard of Zenobia. So
I have not heard of Zenobia. I got an 8. So
okay.
I have no
All right.
idea.
You've heard the name, but you can't put it with any specific face. But everybody else is like, oh, Zenobia. Okay, this is someone who is important.
And Nick's just kind of nodding.
Yeah, you two basically haven't heard of like Boris Johnson. It would be a good equivalent of it. Like you'd be like Boris Johnson. You're like, who the fuck is that? And then Biddy's like, it's the Prime Minister of Great Britain. He's like, she's the leader of. He's like, she's the founder of Karenborg.
Yep, definitely heard that name when I was listening before.
Oh,
yep.
Great. Yeah. All right. So y'all know who Zenobia is. So what you're going to need to do is travel down to Karenborg. And Karenborg, by the way, is both the name of like a country and also the city. The capital of Karenborg is Karenborg. And then you're going to consult with Zenobia. And once you get there, you just tell her that Roy, actually, you tell her Jonas Snyder sent you, and then let her know why you're there to help her find Roy, and she should hook you up. She owes me a favor from back in the day. Oh, give her this, and he hands you guys a sealed note as well. It just looks like a letter.
Can I like try to read him to see if he's actually telling the truth?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Trying to send us on a fool's errand.
Nope. Make an insight check. You can all do this if you want. This is not something you can do cooperatively, though. Let me make some more d20s.
I've got a big bonus on insight.
Yeah, you're actually quite good at this, Tink. Let me make some more d20s. Hold on.
Keep getting it too.
There you go.
I had a 14.
My insight is +8 though. So
I got a 20.
What's your total?
3 20s in a row.
Because
so 27.
Okay, he's 100% seems. Anybody who got better than a 14 is pretty sure he's telling the truth.
Okay. And I had a 14 exactly, so
yeah, he seems honest to you. Yep.
Okay, so he doesn't seem like he's just trying to send us off to get murdered.
This is not a fool's errand, and also you know from that you don't really do that by posting official stuff because that will get you in deep shit with the Adventurers Guild. You don't post fake adventures. That's a big no-no.
Well, I'm just waiting for
Well,
this
then-
guy to leave so I can express my doubts to Tiberius, because I have a very big one.
So you guys are amenable to taking the adventure then? Oh, but I should tell you about the payment. You get 10,000 gold when you find and kill Roy. I know it's not a lot for killing a deity. It seems like a challenge, but again, I don't expect Roy's going to put up a fight. He's not that sort of god. Don't mind what you've read in the Old Testament of Roy. If you've read the Book of Roy, that he's not like that anymore. The genocide and the rape and the murder and those days are behind him. The new Roy is he's not even going to put up a fight. He'll just let you kill him. I'm almost certain.
How do you know that we're not going to end up with a worse Roy if we do kill him? Like,
Well,
he's not going to go back to the old Roy. You know.
I think if you read the Book of Roy, you'll find that he is omnibenevolent, and there's no way for Roy to get worse. He is perfection. You can't improve on perfection, but also you can't make it worse. Perfect is perfect, and perfection is Roy.
Wasn't the raping and all that stuff, the murdering, the pillaging, that wasn't so good?
Now, when Roy did it, it was perfection. Like,
right.
It was the perfectly right thing to do at the time.
I'm just concerned we might get some more perfection if Roy sort of wakes up.
Now, that's an interesting theological argument, and if you want to write a paper about that, that would be, you know what? Send me that. We can have a scholarly discussion about this Roy, these differences, but Roy is perfect, and I won't hear anything else about it now. And at this point, he starts to look a little grumpy. Like you can tell he's a little miffed that you're bad-mouthing Roy.
Oh, I didn't mean to badmouth Roy. I just,
Of course not. Of course not. Roy's.
I'm quite intrigued by your philosophy and may subscribe to your religion. We'll see. But,
fantastic.
Certainly.
Cool.
Certainly. Reading the Book of Roy all day.
Swing by the church and drop some money in the bucket.
We might have to do that.
I believe we should.
I'll take donations now. And he holds out his hand.
I'll give him one copper.
Okay, he takes it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciates it.
Just as I hand it over, I'll
blessings
say,
of Roy upon you.
I believe we should check with the guild over the difference in our stated mission and the one that you have provided.
I mean, you're welcome to do that, but like, guild mission's a guild mission, and ain't nothing unusual about this one. And speaking of which, I did decide to help y'all out a little bit. Now, I know Karenborg's quite far away, and just for your guys, so you're in Dragonmyrth, which is right now at the very point of Pac-Man's mouth. And if you look at the map, which I got to find a way that I can pull the map into tabletop so it's easier to see. But if you look at the map, Karenborg is basically sort of in the middle of Pac-Man's lower jaw, which means to get over there, you're going to either have to take a boat across the strait, or alternatively go all the way around the inside of Pac-Man's mouth. So it's Karenborg, from here to Karenborg is actually pretty far. Like it's a bit of a journey. Anyways, so Jonas says, but I did help y'all out, and I already arranged passage for the first part of the journey. If y'all go down to the dock, and hold on a minute, because I gotta look at something. I don't remember his name. I gotta find a name. Hold on. You go down to the docks and talk to Captain Zagreb. I've arranged passage for you to Thorm, and from there you'll be traveling overland by probably caravan. I mean, Thorm's a busy city. I'm sure you can find a caravan to Karenborg. That's pretty common. But I already got the first part taken care of for you, so if you want to go on down tomorrow morning, Captain Zagreb's sailing with the tide. It's pretty early. It's going to roll out about 9 o'clock, so y'all ought to be there. And, I mean, you're not obligated to go with Captain Zagreb, of course, but I've arranged passage. We worked out a deal for you guys to ride on his ship if you want, or, get your own boat, whatever. But I'd really like you to get going sometime tomorrow.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Y'all in?
I'll nod.
Okay.
I think I want to consult with my tortoise friend here. I think you was talking about consulting with the agents.
You know what? All right, fine. I can see you're a careful and deliberate man. That's fine. I'm a deliberate man myself, and Roy appreciates thoughtful introspection. So I tell you what, y'all hang out, and I'll be back in a little while. You guys, and eat a little bit, have a couple drinks, maybe think about making an additional donation to the Church of Roy, because we, good enough as we can make your money do good things, great things, and wonderful things. And I'll come back, and then y'all can, you can talk a bit and tell me how you feel. And then he just, he's like, steps out.